Christopher was very disappointed when he went with his wife to an evangelistic meeting in Poland. At home, he shouted curses at his wife. It was the last straw for her. "Tomorrow, I will leave and take the children," she said. Christopher cursed his wife and went to bed. But he couldn't sleep. Later that night, he got up, went to the kitchen, and started to talk to God. He spoke to God for 30 minutes. But he didn't hear a reply. In the morning, Christopher took the bus to work. On the bus, he met friends, and they started talking. They always used profanities, and this was no exception. But for the first time, Christopher didn't like their language. He wondered what was wrong with him. His coworkers pooled their money as usual for drinks after work. But Christopher didn't drink this time. Instead, he went straight home. At home, his wife had packed 3 suitcases and was ready to leave with the children. He asked his wife to give him another chance, and she accepted. The next day, Christopher went to the preacher at the evangelistic meetings. Between puffs on a cigarette, he said, "I want to be baptized. My wife plans to be baptized on Friday, and I want to join her." The preacher wondered what to do. He wondered what church members would think as he was still smoking cigarettes, but he decided to take a risk. He baptized Christopher with his wife. Not long afterward, Christopher confided that he had gotten into trouble with the law as a young man. He said he wanted to witness to other young men in prison. The prison warden spoke firmly and directly. "You have one chance," he told the preacher. "If your sermon is boring and someone tells you to stop, you can't come back." But on the day of the sermon, young men wearing identical clothing filed into the room. They looked bored. The preacher sensed that he needed to change his sermon immediately. "Friends," he said, "do you know why I came here?" He pointed to Christopher. "Because this man was like you when he was a teen. Christopher, can you come up?" Christopher stood up. "Friends, I understand you," he said. "I lived here. I wasn't the best teen. I've done some pretty bad things. I once tried to escape from this very prison, and look at this." He stretched out his wrists to show scars where he had tried to commit suicide. "But, praise the Lord, someone saved my life. Today, I came to share good news. When you are released from prison, you can do what you were doing before, or you can change your life and live for God. I invite you to choose God." After that day, Christopher and the preacher visited the prison many more times. A Polish television crew even followed them in, and the young prisoners told the crew, "We are so thankful to the Seventh-day Adventists for visiting us. They brought the Bible to us. We never had the Bible before. We are learning about Jesus, salvation, forgiveness, and the opportunity to start a new life." The prisoner's words filled Christopher and the preacher with joy. "This was very important to us," says the preacher, Ryszard Jankowski. "God can give us a new life. It doesn't matter what you have done. God gave Christopher a new life, and he can give you a new life, too."